Just again, a couple of ground rules. Please do not add your organization names while you guys join in. If you have, then please remove it. I think we're good to go. Will.
To start? Okay. Guys, let me know if I'm not audible in between. If my voice is low, and then feel free to come back and ask questions. We'll take questions in the end. Right? So we will have a dedicated time and section for questions. We'll take at the time. So welcome all of you. I will uh, provide you the tech details behind the OpenAgriNet and then help you to understand what is behind the OpenAgriNet, and hopefully you will have enough information and your all the doubt would be cleared post this call. And I welcome you to this call. Uh, Folks, my name is Mohit. I'm part of COS and lead the technology part for OAN. And let me get started on this. So we'll cover about few things. We'll help you understand what the OAN is, what the project that we are running in Maharashtra called Mahavistar is. We'll touch base on the network part and the AI part of OAN, which is architecture. And then there are a few questions that you guys have placed, and we'll cover those. Okay, so mostly this team, all of you knows, right, what the OAN is, but just to iterate it, this is basically a digital infrastructure that we are creating, right, as a DPI for the farmers. It would be powered by AI to help the marginalized farmers, family, and all of those basically in the agriculture sector. And this would help us in basically doing many more things, improve their livelihood, bringing the welfare service, supporting the agriculture to move to a climate resilient agriculture, right? This is the aim. We have, I think before we move forward, this OAN is housed under COS. So COS is basically a triple IT B and step initiative. And this project is basically OAN is under the triple ITB for all the purposes of legality and the framework that we run. Yeah. Talking about Mahavistar. So Mahavistar is our first implementation of Vistar or OAN. This is helping the farmers in Maharashtra to overcome their queries and improve their livelihood. What you see is a picture and a video of the launch that we had happened in 21st of May. And let's cover a little detail part on this. So this is basically enabled through mobile app to the farmers. They get most of the things that they want through the app, and there is a chatbot also who is basically, this is powered using the AI. It provides queries in English and Marathi language. The user farmer can either type in the queries or voice the queries. And the response basically is taken from multiple resources through the network, and the other APIs that is integrated, which basically ensure that all the other sources which are providing the data in many domains that comes in, that is synthesized and given back to the farmer. Okay, let me move to the next part. Okay. So these are the use cases that are enabled currently on Maharashtra. So what you see, this basically, they are the basic use cases, but very important for any farmer. What they need is they need to know about the weather forecast. They need to be on top of the weather forecast for their farm, for their region, which will basically help in sowing activities and other things they have to do, like irrigation of their farms and all. Warehouse capacity help us in what is the nearest warehouse where they can store their crops so that they get the better benefits of their produce. There is a mandi price which gives them what are the the price from the market for their crops that is running in the vicinity, and they can choose when to sell the crop. Expert advice is basically a bigger use case where the SOPs and other advice from the expert from the agriculture universities, how to use fertilizer for a particular crop, for a particular seed, when to use pesticides and all comes in. So they use the pesticides and other chemicals efficiently, and what is the cycle to grow. All those things come from this use case. And bilingual I've covered already, which is basically the bot is available in Marathi and English both. The future use cases for next 12 months are listed, basically in which the capacity building would happen, where people would be trained on this bot, the technology, they can use it. Other use cases which are in the discussion would come up, enabled. The approach is basically take it beyond only a smartphone related bot to other channels. It could be voice bot, it could be IVR, could be WhatsApp messaging, other channels, so that it is not frozen or dependent on only one stream. We would also be testing the other open source LLMs for the use case, benchmarking them for our needs, and then basically choosing what is the right LLM for our use case. Currently, subscription-based LLMs are used, right? So we'll do a shift from there. The same thing basically would again be done for other modules that we do and figure out what is the right uh, module that is required in case of if we have to shift from a proprietary thing to any open source module. Along with that, we will create a DPG for agriculture. It would be packaged and put up in the open source domain. Also, we'll put it in the DPG Alliance and create this as a registry there. Uh, the user feedback and customization would always be required because we'll get the feedback which we are capturing and enhancing that part, customizing the feature to tweak the source and the tuning that we need on the modules. Now, this is a network, a typical backend based open network that we are using. I'll just wait a minute so you guys can have a look and then we will discuss it. Okay, so this network is backend based. If you guys have used or basically studied the backend based network, is a typical backend based network where on one side you have multiple providers, on the other side you have multiple seekers. Here we had put a AI layer in between the user and the network to synthesize the results and give it in a contextual form to the user. It has a backend registry, a gateway, which is basically registered for a provider. When a provider comes in, they have to register, or a participant comes in, they have to register either as a provider or a seeker and provide the details so that query can efficiently pass through this layer. Domain schema is used for every domain. If a new domain is added, a domain schema need to be created for that. That would also be part of this. This is already established for Maharashtra, and we have to maintain that. Now I'm coming to the AI layer. Again, I will just pause for maybe 15-20 seconds here before I start explaining those. And let me know if I'm audible. If it is no,
Yeah, we can hear you well.
you can hear us. Okay. Okay, Shahid, I see your question. This is the roadmap that I'd shown you is for next 12 months. Okay. So
Okay, thank you.
what you see is basically this is the call flow happens from a user side. User is basically either can give his query in the form of a voice query or a text query. If the voice is done using Bhashni, we detect the language. The Bhashni ASR is used, and that is basically converted back to text query. The text query is given to the agentic LLM for moderation. So we check if there is a profanity or the query ask is related to agriculture only. And when it goes through, then it passes to the main module where all the processing happens. If it is not the right query for the agriculture domain, the response returned back from this part only and it is not processed further. When the query is okay to be processed further, then the intent is recognized from the query, and from the intent recognition, we find out either the query is served from the knowledge which is available in the vector database. So all our POPs, SOPs, all document ingestions happen at this point of time in this DB. So it is served from there. If some part is required to be taken from the dynamic data, so we have a agent part here, which basically can call the APIs of weather, warehouse, pricing, etc. from the external entities through network. So data is gathered from both the places of vector DB and from external APIs. The context is aggregated again. Then here you have seen there's a glossary search has happened also. So the terms related to the agriculture and all are also put in. The context is formed, the response is formed, and it is given to, if I say output layer here, which is the response delivery. Now there could be a couple of things happen is because all of these things are done in English. So it is translated back to the native language in which the query is asked. Then it is a streaming response so that while the translation is happening, user is not waiting at the time the immediately the result is given as soon as it is done. Parallelly, there's a text to speech happen where chunk by chunk the text is converted into the speech and the audio is also given back to the user. Okay, so this is the architecture of AI layer in short, if I can say that. We have to put open source models also in the AI layer in our next phase or next 12 months. I will move to the next part. Okay, so there are a few questions that comes in, uh, which I think most of the people have asked, what are the upcoming potential use cases planned for Mahavistar? So we have a list of indicative use cases which are in discussion. They are not finalized with the Maharashtra government. We'll share that with all of you, but these are just indicative. The use cases would become concrete when the bidding is finalized and we have a project call with the government, and then we will see what are the final use cases to be built. Second was technical documentation standards. So we are following DPGA standard for documentation. It is shared here. There's a standard open source documentation that we do for all our projects, including Sunbird and others that we have done. Okay, next is there an expectation to pre-train or a fine-tune LLM for Marathi and agriculture domain, or would prompt engineering considered as sufficient? Okay, so till now we have not pre-trained the models because we are using subscription-based things. So there's the prompt engineering work. When we start working on the open source model, at that time we will see how much of pre-training required. I expect we will use only general purpose model and some sort of tweaking would be required, but most of the work would be around prompt engineering only. Okay, next is our multilingual dataset glossary already available for training and reference, or is it a vendor expected to develop them? So multilingual data set and glossary we are building. So government or the agriculture department provides us that. Uh, that is would be getting a better response while querying the questions, and it is not used to train the model right now. But during the course of development, we will see what data set would be required. Currently, it is not in the scope. Second is what are the current language supported in the chatbot? Okay, so it's told in English, Marathi are the main thing. But the thing that we will build is in a way that adding a new language is not dependent on the model, and using open source translations layers, we can quickly add a new language if required. Uh, then who would own the infrastructure, and will it be cloud-based or on-premise? Okay, so infrastructure ownership is with Maharashtra government, or if I say the client for this project, it would be cloud-based or on-premise. It could change later on also. Currently, it is on-premise or they have a private uh, cloud kind of a thing, right? Which is there, but it is not the usual big four AWS or Amazon kind of a thing. Currently, that is not there, but it can change later on. But it is to your sense, if you want, this is a Docker-based implementation that we are doing. So it should be uh, equally work on any other cloud. Now, I think if there is any other question, maybe Tejasni, you can help us check and audit that, guys. If you guys can put your questions in the chat bot and then we collate and take it together.
We want to keep this pure technical, so anything related to tech, please go ahead and ask the question.
Okay, so Venu is asking, okay, let's put it, then I will take it. So let me take Venu is asking what is the output response expected, uh, both text and audio. Yes, in current system also we have both audio and text both coming in, because this is for farmers. They may be uh, struggle on the phone, right? Reading the text and all. Keeping that in mind, audio is also put in so they can look back again and again to the response and listen to that. What is the current statistic of Mahavistar? How many queries are done? Okay. So we are in very early stage here. We are basically say uh, we had launched it and it is in a controlled environment, right? Agriculture department is using it right now. Exact statistic, I think we can share basically later on also. But this is uh, agriculture department officials are using it, that I can share with you. How many queries are done, how many. So I can project that this would be open up for all districts uh, for Maharashtra. So target audience is all the farmers in Maharashtra. So take it from that way. Rollout would happen slowly, district by district, block by block, that we have to check on that. What is the response time for medium complex query on the OAN service and all? So this, currently we are not benchmark it, and we believe that when a bidder comes in, they will help us in benchmarking that. Where is how much time it is taking into simple query versus medium versus complex queries. Uh, can we use managed services? Uh, you can use managed services, that's not a problem, but we have to see, is it a open source alternative available? If open source alternate is available and the infrastructure allows that, we will go with that. Assuming this is Maharashtra's private crowd, how many things available as a managed service is a constraint. So we have to check that before I just uh, uh, quietly say yes or no.
All right. Thank you.
Uh, Do you require open weight models, Mistral, Llama 3, or proportionality commercially available? Actually, both would be required for the models. So we will go with Mistral and Llama 3, whatever, basically, when we talk about the open source models and all. Uh, so that would happen. If there is a closed source also, the model is there, then we can use that also. Commercial one, OpenAI, Cloud or Gemini. So we are not restricted on that. Only thing is because there's a farmer's data is available, so that would take the precedence while deciding which model to use. And the quality of response obviously would be one more parameter. Okay, what is the specific backend adopter implement Onyx or custom? No, it is backend Onyx implementation only. And any other changes comes in, the backend team is help us in changing or regulating those also required. Are used for BAP. So we are using backend Onyx, Sridhar, if I just get it. There is no difference in BAP and BPP, right? There's only a backend Onyx is used as a network, and that's it.
The question was more to do with whether we will be doing customization or future also it's going to run on Onyx. It may not scale to the size that we may be looking for, right? Because
We
it's
are open to that. If there is anything which help us in scaling, and if we need to do customization, we are open to that. Hopefully, I think this is answered. I will take the next question now. Do you expect vendor to deploy and manage the LLMs on your cloud? 1 minute, on-premise and prem. Yes, we expect vendor to deploy and manage the LLM on Maharashtra's or the government's or client's environment. And it would be like very specific environment. It would be the environment would come from India AI mission, so you can get a gist of what kind of environment is used for the GPUs that they provide. Uh, Currently, Shridhar, there is no customization done at the core of the backend protocol. How is the domain schema, example, crop types, soil parameters, and blah, blah, blah. So for each use cases, we are creating the specification, and that would be part of the vendor also. When a new use case comes in, we have to create the schema for those and get it reviewed with the backend team before using it.
this is going to be published as a standard.
We will publish.
Mohit, can I step in?
Yeah.
Bharat
Oh,
here.
Bharat is there. Yeah, Bharat, please.
Hey Sridhar, thanks for the question. This is Bharat. I'm from FIDE. Help with a lot of these aspects. So domain-specific extensions. At present, we're using core backend specs. We do envision domain-specific extensions, but at the moment, I don't see the use cases being that complex. There could be a possibility that when this expands to a state where we do need it, it could be added as a configuration, not as a specification addition, right? For anything else, what we essentially do is provide an implementation guide. It's a recommendation. It is not a hard and fast rule that you must use it. It's just that it helps a lot with the compliance to the protocol and helps interoperability going forward, right? It helps with reduced breakages when BAPs and BPPs are interacting. So we published that as a common open source document, and then that is helpful as a reference guide to the participants who are implementing the protocol.
Thank you. The if I can ask a quick question based on what you said, one of the things that we are doing, right? We are working on similar projects with other departments or government, and they have their own specs. Is it going to be standardized? Because now we will, right? We'll have a plethora of different.
Yeah, we don't want to end up in a situation where we create a standard for each domain or each state. So everything across OAN and Vistar will have a common specification. That specification will be backend protocol for discovery, transaction, whatever else. There will not be very guided or specific additions or deviations to that common specification. If at all any minor tweaks based on the domain or based on industry requirements come in, it will be added as configurations and runtime, not at specification level.
Got it. Understood.
Okay, next question is from Chinmay. What are the providers in the backend based system expected to provide? What will the documentation? So, Bharat, you want to take other questions also, as you are already here and they are related to backend protocol.
No, go ahead, Mohit. If in case you need to step in, I'll come.
Okay. What are the providers in the backend system expected to provide? So all our documentation input is available in our Gitbook already. They are available. Share the link. Uh, the providers, the chosen provider from the Maharashtra government would be able to onboard on the system. They are expected to provide an API using which the transaction can happen on the system. When I say transaction, I mean all kind of API queries required for the system can happen from discovery to, let's say, fulfillment based on the use case can happen. Okay, next is again from Sridhar Vatland. So again, Sridhar, this is cloud-based environment we are using on Maharashtra Infra. We are using, I think, containers here.
Yeah, but Sridhar, I think the gateways and the registries will be taken care of. You shouldn't have to worry about them too much. All you have to do is register onto the registry. So
Again, the question was some of the payloads we have deployed in Meghraj, the Nick cloud, right? So we wanted to know whether it's going to be there because they have a limited set of services which we can use.
uh,
If it is NIC,
but even then,
there are difference between a NIC and a state data centers. Some of them are NIC managed, which are
yeah, true. But even then, they would be a provider infrastructure and not the in hosting. Sorry, the network infrastructure, right? So the gateways and the registries are out of scope as far as this is concerned. When you're coming in as a provider, you can request that these data sets may require this particular set of infrastructures for purely to come on as a provider platform.
so. Is it a good assumption to say that this is out of scope when that will be provided for, right?
No, what I meant is, if you're asking about specific infrastructures for gateway and the registry, I'm saying that the gateway and the registry is already available.
Okay, got it.
Fair? You don't have to go ahead and set that up again.
Okay, I think that is answered. What kind of agriculture corporate text image speech data is being used? Okay, currently we don't need any corpus of image data and all. The AI layer is mostly on the conversation part, so we are using Gen AI for that purpose. And we are not capturing any data for now. Providers would can come in, they can use the data available and then provide those as a service. At this point of time, we are not capturing any data like text, image, or speech data from the user. For Marathi language, data would come, but not for let's say model improvement we are using. How have we planned to handle the protocol conflict among two different systems using their own protocol? Okay.
Mohit, I'll take this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shahid, we would recommend that everyone, adapt to or implement backend protocol. That would be the common protocol for discovery transactions between the seeker and the providers. If you're coming in as a provider and you have your own protocol that you use, the best way to sort of take a look at this is to figure out a wrapper to that protocol and then sort of more tweak it to make sure that it follows backend's specification. So the specification is a set of APIs and a schema, and we encourage everyone to follow that set so that everyone's interoperable.
Okay.
Okay. How's the farmer identity expected to be covered during the session? The farmer or farm specific attribute looking for. Okay. And are we expected to create host translation services to external services like Passion and others? Large scale farmer will need a huge number of GPU available. Okay. First is farmer's ID. Yes. So we are planning to integrate AgriStack, which would help us in getting the farmer, farm and crop ID, etc. Basically for the use cases. Are we expected to create a host translation service? So translation and external services are being used, and we will continue to use that. Bhashni is used currently, but if there is another service available in that domain, we can use that. Large scale farmer. Okay, so it's
Sorry,
basically
are we expected to, because I saw the, like you're mentioning data sets and glossaries, so are we expected to create our own translation service
no,
by, okay,
currently not required in this.
okay,
We are not expected to create new translation services. We would be using what is available either through uh, available models or through Bhashni.
okay. So you primarily fine tuning and RAG would be the use case for the multi-lingual data sets and glossaries.
Yes.
Okay.
Now your questions around GPUs. Yes, it would require a lot more GPUs. So when we open up, we'll open up with a limited user and then see how it is behaving. And if it is good, we will procure more GPUs. So that is fine. That's on the infra part that I think your question is, and we will take care of that. Shikar, can you elaborate on OCEN? What is that? Credit enablement. Is it a use case part that you are mentioning?
Correct. OAN is that again, this is coming from another project we are doing wherein they are looking for OAN as part of the deal. That's for credit enablement, right? Microcredit and all that, which comes in as part of, if they qualify for a scheme, then the banks come to know, and the whole workflow, right, related to credit enablement is part of the, and OAN can be carried over the beacon.
Sridhar, if I'm not wrong, backend also enables financial services, a lot of the credit
Correct.
and
This is a
lending.
subset of that, correct?
Oh, is it? Okay. In case there is a specific need for OAN to get utilized, you can definitely pick it up. We'll have to sort of take a conversation offline on what is the bridging mechanism, where does backend end, where does OAN pick up, and then figure out how it loops back in again. So that's something that we haven't explored yet, but yeah, definitely can look at it.
It's
It's
again
not a mandatory.
very preliminary. We have talked to a few other government departments, right? They are asking about that. So we just wanted to know how it's going.
Yeah, sure.
I think we have no further questions. If in case anybody has any other questions, we can take it up, or else we can wrap up this call. We've also posted the Mavistar web app link, the GitHub, and the Gitbook link on the chat for your reference.
Hi, this is Nikhilesh. So before, like, since there are no further questions, I think one of the question was asked regarding what are the use cases. It will be great if you can share some write-ups on the expected outcomes and use cases and what dynamic data sets it needs to integrate for us to assess the right architecture and also make estimates on the efforts.
We have a list of indicated use cases. We'll share that with you guys. No problem.
Thank you.
Thank
Uh,
you. Raju, over to
yeah.
you.
Anybody else? If no further questions, we'll end this. And thank you so much for
Sure.
joining. Thank you, Mohit. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.